Hi. Well, my name is Stephen J. Humphrey, Mad Scarecrow of Boscombe. Welcome to my weekly blog on YouTube at A41Dog. Um, Politics. You've got one simple choice to make in the next couple of months when Gordon Brown finally announces the general election. That is to get off your arse and vote. And I can't change my appearance, right? Would you rather vote for a war criminal or a scarecrow? Because that is literally the choice that you've got here in Bournemouth East, where in case you haven't been watching my videos, or this is the first time you've seen my videos, I'm standing as an independent candidate for Bournemouth East against the likes of Tobias Elwood, Lisa Northover, David Stokes and whoever else wants to stand. Now, the Tory party was founded in 1700 something, 1678 or something like that. And look at the world today since. We get war every 10 years, we get millions of people killed every year through bad health. And I'm just a symptom of the corporate greed that governs this planet. And the fact that we're talking about a planet is one of the benefits of the Enlightenment, of the time that we've had. And we know we live on a planet, but we can't have a new world order, because that's another word for massive genocide. Mass genocide is some of the stuff I've heard about the new world order. Ooh, turn your blood boil, or boil your blood, or gets me mad, put it that way. And I'm not mentally ill at all. And compared to some of the psychopaths we've elected in the past, I'm quite normal. Best thing I ever did was get the internet installed at home. And even Nick Clegg recognises the importance of the internet. And I wonder how many emails Gordon Brown sends out each day. I bet he doesn't have time to sit there and write an email. And he will quite happily ignore you. Now the question is, you don't vote for me, who do you vote for? You vote for the Tories, you vote for the Lib Dems, you vote Green, you vote BNP, you vote anyone. And then what happens? Look at your own life. Is life better now than it was under Maggie Thatcher? How many public utilities has the Tories sold off? How many public utilities do we the people actually own now? Do we own the water in our taps? Do we own the electricity that comes through our wires, runs our telly? Do we own anything these days? You see, when you buy a car, you sign the V5 vehicle registration document. Do you own that vehicle? Do you own the mortgage on the house where you live? I'd say no. You got a license to live there on behalf of your bank, and then you pay the bank rent. That's what you do for a house. And so if you don't vote for me, who do you vote for? My answer would be, don't vote for any of them. Vote for an independent candidate. And if you don't like my face, how's not voting for me going to change that? How not voting at all going to change the world that you live in? At least I'm prepared to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. How many politicians have you heard say that? I'd say none. We're here in the middle of this economic crisis because the bankers went a bit off the rails. I'd say more than that, they completely destroyed the rails. They bankrupted the railways, they've bankrupted the water companies, and then the private industry rubbed their hands, got a really nice bargain, and then charged us 3 times as much for the same service, meanwhile increasing their profits. So why did Maggie Thatcher privatise all our public utilities, or as much private public property as she could get away with? It's because the bankers own this country, allegedly. The government has borrowed 170 billion quid off our backs. Why? Did they ask you? Ask you a simple question. Ask this simple question. Did the bankers ask you to bail them out? I'd say no. Did Gordon Brown ask for your opinion when he came up with the idea of 700 billion quid? No. Did Obama ask you to finance the British arm of the American banks that went under? No. They're not interested in your opinion, full stop. They only want your money to pay their mortgage. That is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And here's Cameron and his cronies saying that there's 1 million work shy. There isn't. There's 1 million people the Tory party don't like claiming benefits. That's the truth. There's 10 million people on low incomes in this country at least. Are we getting pay rises? Is the poorest people in this country getting pay rises? I got a letter through from the job centre, the Department of Work and Pensions, saying that my wages are going to go up by £1.80 in April. It doesn't cover my electric, doesn't cover my gas, doesn't cover my rent that's gone up by £4 a week. And this time last year it went up by another £4. So I'm £8 worse off now in 12 months, and all of the DWP can give me is £1.80. See, there's an example of why this country needs radical reform. Why you need to vote for me. Because who's standing up for the poorest? Who's standing up for the vulnerable on benefits? Who's standing up for the OAPs? A scarecrow like me or David Cameron? Ask yourself a simple question. How long was David Cameron on the dole? At least John Major was on the dole for 2 weeks and had a taste of it before he got groomed for the top job of Prime Minister. How many bottles of champagne have you drank recently? Huh? How many poor people have died because of real mad practice? Maladministration in the hospitals. How many people have died of diamorphine overdoses recently? You see, that the fundamental flaw needs to be reformed. The whole concept of government needs to be reformed. How do we involve the people in day-to-day decision making of the government? How do we involve people in the day-to-day decision making of council? How do we have a say in how our hospitals are run? Do we want them to be private institutions managed by the American health industry, or do we want them to be public utilities? This is what the government needs to be asking. It doesn't need to ask you to vote for Tory or vote Lib Dem or vote Labour. It needs to ask you, how are we going to involve you in the day-to-day decisions of government? Whether that's here in Bournemouth or at Westminster or in Europe or even at the UN. Now we've got the internet. Now I like to propose that we give everyone on the dole internet access for free for 6 months. Now would that help make poverty history? I'd say it would. But you ask the Tories, are you going to give us all internet access for nothing? And I bet you their answer would be no. Ask the Lib Dems, are you going to give us internet access for nothing? No. So the simple answer is, who are you going to vote for? Because you can't stay at home on polling day. You've got to go out and vote. Got to. Because if you don't, idiots like David Cameron are going to get elected, and you're going to be in a world of shit. Anyway, last 10 seconds. My name is Stephen J. Humphrey, independent candidate for Bournemouth East. Vote for me or we're going to die.